What's up, everybody? This is Jay with Prepared Citizens. Today we're going to be talking about the Bear Creek Arsenal BCA-10. What's up, guys? Jay here, former Army infantryman. We're going to be talking about this BCA that's been sent over by them for me to review. We're going to be giving our very bold, honest thoughts about it. I opted in to give a shot to their side charging model, so we're going to see how that works as well. But without further ado, let's talk about the rifle a little bit. So disclaimer, what I've done to it is I did put this Magpul stock on it. I don't even know, DT-PR stock. It was like 50 bucks. And I also got this Sig Sauer Tango-SPR 4x16 with a 44mm objective lens. And I'm trying to keep this thing as budget as possible, because personally I think it's really badass when you can put as little money into something and get big results. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for with this setup. And I don't have a bipod or anything on it yet. We're going to be getting one of those soon. But first, we got to make sure this thing is worthy of even being painted up and used in that area. The rifle itself, you got this rubberized grip it comes with. I'll probably be changing that out. They feel good, but I do know over time in the weather, typically these things will start to wear. It's a very heavy rifle, which is totally normal because this is a 308. The bolt catch is pretty unique, pin style. It's got like a little Allen key and take it in, out. It's gonna work just fine, I'm sure. It's pretty standard. It does feel very weird, this kind of rifle, and using, you know, the side charger. That's something I'm definitely going to get used to. But I was just thinking, if I do use this in a hunting capacity, that would be pretty neat. So back here on the very back where your charging handle normally goes, you got like a little plug thing. Got an O-ring on it and whatnot, so that's okay. You got pretty much your standard flash hider that comes with the BCA stuff. I like that. What is that, 15-inch M-lock rail? This is a 16-inch barrel also, so that's something else I was wanting to try. See what kind of accuracy we can get out of a 16-inch barrel. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Parkerized barrel. Is a 308 Winchester 110 twist, and we're going to be using some Georgia Arms 150 grain full metal jacket. I like those rounds. I've always had good accuracy out of those rounds. I've used these rounds in other rifles to go out to half a mile, so I feel pretty good about them. But and for YouTube purposes, before we get started shooting, we are on a range here. Everything's being done in a controlled environment. Everything is good to go here. Safe direction, safe area, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's start putting some rounds on paper and see what we can get out of this thing. We're gonna zero at 100 yards, which is probably the furthest we're gonna get out to today. And then in a later video, I'll take this thing on out and we'll actually see what kind of like serious range we can get with it. But today we want to get zero, test consistency, and go from there. Just get a good base starting point. So let's do it. Guys, here we are at the 25-yard range. This is not far. We're just getting it on paper right now. Primarily, once I get this thing set, I may adjust the elevation just a little bit, but primarily I'm going to be working on windage to make sure we're going to be good and centered as we go on out to distance. So let's go ahead and see where we're at, and we will go from there. All right, first round. Let's see how she does. All right. Wow, because that was actually really close. I'm gonna bring you guys down there and check that out. All right, here we are at the target. Check this out. This is the first 2 shots. All I did was throw the scope on, tighten everything down, Loctite, and here we are. That's pretty flippin' sweet. Okay, so forgive me guys for being a little wobbly today, but yeah, I've not even touched the scope. So let's just go ahead and go on back and see what we can do. All right, so here we are back at 100 yards. We should be high. So I'm gonna take a shot and see how high we are, since we were pretty much dead on at 25 yards. So yeah, let's see where we're at. I had to get some of this grass out of the way in front of me just so I could see the target. But yeah, here we go. Get some more. Sheesh. All right, here we go. Going hot. All right, let's do one more. All right, so I can already tell I need to come down. I'm just gonna start clicking this baby down and see where we're at, because I can see it actually out there. I will bring you guys down there shortly and we will all look at it. Here we go, one more. All right, I moved it too much, so that's good. So we'll go right there. I don't know how many rounds I got left in this mag. It's only a 10 round mag. There it was. All right, I say that was all of that mag. Good bolt lock back from that last round, so that's really good. This thing is shooting very smooth, but let's go take a look at the target and see what it looks like. So I did 5 more total. Let's see, yep. So, and my last one hit here. This is the last one, so I'm probably just gonna creep it up let's see, couple clicks, which should be quarter MOA, which should be roughly a 1/4 inch at 100 yards, which is where we're at. So yeah, let's see. So far it's been pretty good. I've not been the best shooter today, I will admit that, but so far it's been pretty good. All right, so here we are. We ran out of ammo, so I got us a 20 round mag we're going to start off with, but I've already adjusted the scope 2 clicks, so that should put us 1/2 inch up. And let's see, yeah, this should be, if everything looks good after we take these next few shots, we're going to lock everything down, and this is going to be where we start our dope card in the future. Because any kind of any rifle really, you want to have some kind of a dope card for, if it's one that you use a bunch. So that's just always good to have, always good to know your ranges. You should always know that with whatever rifle you patrol with. So like I said, let's go ahead, get this squared away, and we will get it going. All right, come on baby, stay right there, stay. All right, there you go. Let's get your ear pro on. This thing gets loud. Ask me how I know. Put our empty mag back up. All right, let's see where we're at. Let's do it. Whew. I'm not very stable in this spot, but holy cow, I may have to try to get a little bit more stable position. Let's go see what those look like. Hey guys, I was very unstable. 1, 2, and 3. And shit, as hot as it is today, it's like 100 degrees right now. I may call that because we're pretty close here. And I know all my other ones have been in line windage wise when I had a little bit more stable position. So we may call this for today, and next video we'll take it out to the longer range. So let's talk about what we got so far and what we like, what we don't like. Here we are in the office. We're going to talk about our final thoughts, everything on our BCA-10. Guys, let's get started with coffee. First and foremost, before I get started on the pros and cons, these are boldly honest opinions that I'm going to say regardless if they sent me the rifle or not, or if I bought it. So, with that being said, I do want to say thank you to Bear Creek Arsenal. That was super nice of them to send me a rifle for this review. So we're going to go through the pros, cons, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on would I recommend this to a friend, genuinely. So, and would I pay for it if I had to do this all over again, knowing what I know now, if I had to pay money for this. So let's get going. We'll start with the pros because I like my dessert first. So first off, I really like the size of this DMR. I'm going to consider this a designated marksman rifle because this is easily, I feel confident this is going to be at least a half-mile gun, maybe even a 1,000-yard gun. But this is going to be a great size for patrols. It's going to be a great size for hunting, all that good stuff. The 16-inch barrel, I can't be happier with the size of this thing. Also, talking about size, let's roll right into how much weight we have here. To be exact, I knew it was right around 10 pounds. To be exact, the way you see it right here, no ammunition but an empty 10-round mag in it. It is 10 pounds and 5 ounces. Guys, for a .308 rifle, that is great. That is a really good lightweight rifle with everything we have here. Good, solid stock system with a great purchase place, rubber butt pad, good 4x16 scope. This is actually a budget scope, so you can, depending on how much money you want to spend on a scope, these will get lighter the more money you spend. Guys, I can't tell you how happy I am with this setup the way it is right now. I've been very pleased with maneuverability and weight of this thing. Shooting it, this thing is super smooth. I have shot my fair share of AR-10 platforms in .308, and let me tell you, this is amongst the top ones I've shot when it comes to the cycle of the bolt, the recoil, the feel of the recoil impulse, and being able to get back on target quickly. I'm super happy with this. When we start talking about heavier calibers like .308, because as you can see here, here's our difference of a .556 and a .308. lots of difference, okay? Said once we start talking about the recoil impulse, it's very important with the heavier calibers, not so much with the 5.56, that's not much recoil, but with this, it's very smooth, very, very smooth. Also, had a very good bolt lock back each time I ran out of ammo in the magazine. That was great too, and I could feel it really well. Those little things like that mean a lot to me, being that I've shot several of these platforms, and I'm telling you, with a 308, it's just so sweet when all that works in sync and smoothly. I really like that. Talking about smoothness, I want to talk about the trigger a little bit. As far as I know, this is a mil-spec trigger. They've done some kind of polishing, smoothing on it. I've done a little bit of dry firing with it before I took it out. But I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as I prepped that trigger, it was ready to go. Very, very easy trigger prep, very smooth. Wasn't heavy at all. It was just felt really good. I'm not the kind of person to change up triggers and things in combat/patrol rifles, something I'm going to use in a duty capacity. So this is something I'm hoping to have like a hunting/Minuteman capacity with. So that's why I'm not going to be changing a trigger. If you can't do it with a mil-spec trigger, in my opinion, you shouldn't be doing it at all. Positive bolt control. This is something I really want to talk about. So this is probably the biggest pro to the right side charging on the bolt. Just for my safety guys, the gun's clear. When you move this charging handle here on the side, you are actually moving the bolt directly itself because it is attached to the bolt. Whereas if you're moving the charging handle, you're just moving a piece that rides against the bolt, not the bolt itself. So on certain malfunctions, when you actually need to move that bolt, this is going to be much better to get the gun back up and going, okay? So I actually really like that. That's a very positive way to look at the right side charging systems that Bear Creek puts out. I think they're kind of proprietary. That's sort of their own thing. Again, it's got pros and cons. Speaking of cons, let's go into them. Also has to do with the bolt. So some of this stuff is kind of nitpicking, but regardless, it's cons. So first off, all this is open, okay? So normally with a charging handle system, this is all closed and you got your dust cover. Keep everything closed up while on patrol so nothing gets in there nasty or anything. You don't have that luxury here because it's all open. Granted, we probably shouldn't be doing anything with our rifle that gets a bunch of muck and gunk in there, but it's open. Do with that what you will. That's gonna, I would say it's going to depend on your environment and things like that if this is going to be for you. Field maintenance. Just like any AR-10, no big deal. The only difference, you're going to have an Allen key to remove this little charging handle on the side of the bolt here. I keep saying charging handle, the bolt. Let's just face it. You're going to have an Allen key to remove that bolt. And you got this little plug that's screwed in back here. You'll have to unscrew that. So now you have the bolt, that screw, plus this plug to keep up with while doing field maintenance. Not that big of a deal as long as you're organized in your maintenance. But for some people, if you lose one of those, you're kind of screwed. So that's something you want to keep in mind, is being able to have everything you need for this. So just remember, if you're buying an AR-10 maintenance kit or cleaning kit, you're going to have to add that Allen wrench, and probably I would like to add a small Ziploc bag or something, or maybe something bright colored, just to put this stuff in while you're cleaning so you don't lose anything. That's my take on it. A couple of more nitpicks I got is going to be the grip. I'm not crazy about this rubber grip, but it works perfectly fine. I'm actually not going to change it. I've decided I'm going to leave it on here and just kind of report in on how this thing's doing over time. So we're going to do that. The stock, as you can see, I put a Magpul stock on here. The stock that came on here was a very low profile plastic stock. It would be great on my AR-15. I'm probably going to put it on my Bear Creek AR-15, but when you're talking a 308 with a lot more recoil, I want a good rubber butt pad with more surface area. So I went with this. This was only 50 bucks. Pretty high quality stock for 50 bucks, but it is what it is. Honestly, a lot of these things you end up having to change the stock. So I do like the fact that they didn't put like some kind of fancy precision stock on here and jack the price up $300. That's nice. So for 50 bucks more, I just had to add a little bit better stock. If there's one last thing I can add, this is good and bad. I love the flash hiders that Bear Creek uses. I really enjoy this. Shooting in the prone though, as you guys could tell, this thing kicks up a lot of dust. There's a lot of back pressure coming off of a 308 round. So I had to wait like a couple of seconds before I could even see my target again. But if there was something where maybe, you know, just made it solid on the bottom, or you didn't have as much downward pressure, or I don't know, maybe even a muzzle brake. But man, this thing would be loud with a muzzle brake. But I don't know. I really do like these though. These are pretty sweet. They look sweet and they work great. So I'm not gonna fault them too much on the little things that I've picked out. And the you can get these guns with standard charging handles and all that. I just opted in to try this right side charger because I've never tried one of their right side charging. I was like, for hunting, you know, this may be more appropriate. All right, so would I recommend this to a friend? Would I buy this gun the way it is, knowing what I know now? Knowing what I know now, absolutely. I would feel 110% confident in buying this thing the way it is now. I have been super happy with it. This thing is very slick. I can't say enough good things about it. I really, really like it. I can't wait for some buddies to start coming out and training with me, and I'm going to let them shoot this thing, get their thoughts on it too. That's going to be cool. Honestly, when I sell any kind of gun for a company, it's usually based on in-person testing, where they get to come out and train with me. I'll let them shoot these things, and then they're like, oh my gosh, give me the link to it. So that's how it's always been with me anyway. So rest assured, I promise you, you would be happy if you're in the market for an AR-10. You're going to be happy with something like this. When it comes to AR-10s, one thing I do recommend when buying one, stick to standard calibers. Do not, if you're getting an AR-15 platform, 5.56. If you're getting an AR-10 platform, highly recommend 308 Winchester. Stick with the standards. This stuff works. This is very robust, very solid, very tested, and it works very well. So that's my 2 cents on that. But anybody, I feel confident, would be very happy with this. I would definitely recommend it to a friend. 10 out of 10. I have no issues with this thing so far. The only mistakes that I made when I was shooting it is I did not have the screws Loctited and tight up here. I Loctited and tightened the mount to the scope, but not the rings. And that was very dumb on my part. I don't know how I overlooked that, but the scope did move a little actually. I mean, like maybe 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. And you guys still saw the accuracy. The way us rednecks judge accuracy, would it have killed a deer? Yes, it would have killed a deer every time in my case. But I have everything locked, tighted, and tightened down now. Also got our caps zeroed, so that's good. Everything worked good, guys. I can't be happier. I'll do a review on the scope later on. But for now, we're just talking about the gun, and it did absolutely awesome. So, guys, I think that's all I got for you. If you got any questions about this rifle, please drop it in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank y'all so much. Guys, Remember to be an asset to everybody around you, not a liability. And I will see you guys on the next one. God bless. Very nice.